Hello guys, and welcome to episode number 35, where we will be solving 5 more SQL problems, this time from Facebook. So let's get started with problem number 1 right here. We have to find all messages, that sounds like an asterisk, which have references to either this user or this user. So we have one filter and all of the columns, right? Now let's figure out what this means. References to these users. If we preview the data here, we can see that what they actually mean is whether user 2 or 3 is found within the string right here. Now, since the pattern is user and then the user number, we could actually just look for the number, but we're gonna search for the user as well. We need all of the rows where the text is like, we need to search in it for user 2, anything before and after, or the text contains user 3, anything before or after. And that would be the final answer right here. These 3 messages, 3 out of 4 or 5, however many they are. So quick recap, we want to show all of the rows where we find user 2 or user 3 in the text right here. Problem number 2, what percentage, so we have to divide 2 numbers. We have like a number here and another number here. And these products are all products. And the other one is products which are low in fat and recyclable. So we need to make a number of these. Has to be recyclable and low in fat. This is one number. And then the other number is this one. All products. This is the other number. Then we'll divide this basically by the other one. So let's get started with this one. We're simply going to first filter for these 2. We need to find a count. So we're going to count all of the rows where these 2 filters are true. If we go down here, we're going to say this one, and these are varchars. So let's see how they look. And it seems both of them either have N or Y. We're going to say this one equals with Y, and the other one equals with Y as well. Now we have one of the counts. We have this one, the count of these products with this. Now we have to find just all of the products. So we need to divide this by all of the products here. And to do that, we're going to make a subquery. Select, we're going to count all of the products from our table right here. So this represents the number of all of the products, and this represents the number of the products with these 2 filters. We're going to call this result or something. And it is wrong because they multiply by 100. And our result is 0.083, which is 8.3%, but they multiply by 100. So we have to multiply by 100 here. I actually do not recommend you to actually do this, but because you're actually altering the final result this way, it's not the same thing anymore. You only want to alter the format, not the actual value. So quick recap, in here on the left side, we are so in this part right here, I'm just gonna kind of put it like this. In these 2 boxes here, this is just one thing, and we are counting all of the numbers where we have these 2 filters, this one and this one. We're gonna get a number here, and then we're gonna divide this number by right here, this subquery, which is the total number of products. And then we're gonna get the number with 0 point something. And in our case, it's actually 8%. It would be 0.083 or something. And to show it in percent, we have to multiply by 100, and we're going to get 8.33, I believe. Problem number 3. For the 5 most lucrative products, 5 most, that sounds like a ranking of some sort. That means product generate highest revenue. So that would be based on the highest revenue. We have to output ID and total revenue. We have to output 2 columns. Basically what this means is show the ID and total revenue for the top 5 products based on the revenue descending. So you already know how we do these rankings. We're always going to use a CTE rather than a limit. I'm going to select here. We're just going to do a select from, write our basic, and then CTE here. Now, let's see what we have to output. The final thing we have to output is ID total revenue. So we're going to say ID here, and then we're going to say total revenue. Now we don't actually have total revenue, so we have to create it. And total revenue would be the cost in dollars multiplied by the cost of units sold. And then we just need to sum it up. So we're going to say cost in dollars multiplied with the units sold. But that would be only for one order, one sale. So we want a sum of all of them. I'm going to say here total revenue. And now we need to rank them. So we're going to use the dense rank for this. We're going to rank them over order by. And now we cannot use total revenue like this because this doesn't exist yet. Actually, we have to use this entire thing. We're going to order descending. And then we're going to call this, the ranking here, we're going to call it RNK. Now we also need to group by the product ID because we're doing for every ID. And we don't actually need to order. All right, this one is done. Now we just need to select the ID, and now we can actually use total revenue because it exists now, and we don't need to show this one. And now we just need to filter based on that one, less or equal with 5, and this should be the final answer. And these are the top 5 products based on the revenue. They are unordered because we don't have to order them. So quick recap here. In this table right here, we are ordering all of the products. So here we have each product. For each product, we want to calculate the total revenue. And the total revenue is the sum of every transaction. Every transaction meaning the cost in dollars multiplied with the units sold, and that's going to be a sum here. The sum of these two. That would be a total revenue. And we want to order by this same thing here, right? Just that we have to write it again because it doesn't exist as one column. And then we do it descending here. Lastly, down here, we just select these two columns. We do not select the RNK because we don't need to show it up. We only use it to filter right here. And we need less or equal than 5. Which means top 5 from 1 to 5. Problem number 4. What are the top 2? Again, the same thing. We have to use a ranking. Rank descending order. Single channel media. This could be a filter. Single channel media type. And we have to do it based on most money here. Most money. Promotional campaigns. Most money. So I have to show the top 2 descending based on a sum of money. And single channel media types. Now, I don't know what that means. So let's see here, media types, single channel. We only have this one. Let's look at the data. We have promotion, media. There's no single multi-channel kind of thing here. So I actually don't know what they mean by this. It doesn't seem to be applicable to our data set. So we're not actually this is actually not a filter. So all we have to do is we'll create another CTE table with CTE so we can rank these. Right, there's our basic syntax. Now we have to fill in the gaps. What do we have to show? The top 2 ranked. We only have to show the top 2 ranked. In the expected output, they just show 2 columns actually. The media type and money spent. So we're going to try to imitate that. So we're going to say media type, and then now the cost here, we have to sum it up, sum of cost. We're going to call it total cost. And now we need our dense rank over, and we need it based on the sum of cost, actually order by sum cost, close the parentheses, descending, and then we're going to name this RNK. Down here, we're going to say where RNK less equal to, and we're going to select this one media type and total cost right here. This actually should be the final result, but we forgot to aggregate here, group by media type. And there we go. This is the final answer, which is exactly the same. So quick recap. What are we doing here? Here we're ranking all of the media types. This is per media type for each media type. And then we want to order them by the sum of cost right here, which we use again right here. And then we only want to show the first one and the second one. So we can say less and equal than 2. And problem number 5, guys, the last one for today, we have to count the number of users who made more than 5 searches in August. We have 2 filters. We have 2 kind of filters, but they're different. They're not actually the same. Number of users. So we have to count for each user the number of searches with this filter, and then to count the final users. So let's try to do the first part. Count the number of users. So let's do for each user, right? Each user ID, we're going to count the number of searches. We're going to put the asterisk here because the table is searches. So one row is a search. We're going to call this number searches. Now we're going to put our filter here where August 2021. So let's check it out. Here we have date, time, and it looks like this. Year, this is probably the month, and this is the day. So we're going to do it like year of date equals 23rd, 2021, and month of date. There are many ways of doing this, but this is one of them. Equals with 8. August would be an 8 here. So this would be our filter. Now if we, I forgot the group ID. Group by, we have to group by every user, yeah? There we go. So for every user here, we have the user list and the number of searches they made. Now we have to count the users who did more than 5. So that would be just these two. This is 5, doesn't qualify. This is less than 5, just these two users. So now we have this table and we want to count from it. So we're going to actually convert this one to a CTE table. Right, we just converted it. I'm just going to make it nice here. And now we're simply going to select the count from CTE, but we need to also put our filter here. Since we can filter right here in this table, we're going to say having the number of searches more than 5. So this table here, it will return us the filtered users. And here in this one, we simply just count the number of rows from here. And the answer will be 2. And we're just going to call here num users. And there we go. That's the final answer. So quick recap. In this table right here, we want to find all of the users where their number of searches is more than 5. So to figure that one out, we have to find for each user how many searches they made in this particular year and month. And lastly, we only want to show the users who had more than 5 searches. Down here, we simply count the number of rows from this table, which is already filtered. That was it for today, guys. A little bit more interesting, a bunch of window functions and ranking. Very nice. Nice to see these ones. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy these types of problems, I highly encourage you to join the StrataScratch community. Consider using the affiliate link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.